Today, I'm going to quickly show you the meaning behind these colors you see in a Genga or keyframe drawings. Every animation studio has their own way of coloring Genga drawings. However, most studios follow a general rule when it comes to coloring a keyframe drawing or Genga. The black lines are obviously used for the outline of the character, drawing every detail that you want to be shown in the final animation as a line. The blue lines represent the shadows, and the red lines represent the highlights. But these lines are often not seen in the final animation since they only represent the boundaries where the shadows and highlights are going to be. For the fills, the light blue are for the shadows, while the yellow are for the highlights. The shadows and highlights used for the character will come from the character design sheet model, which will guide the colorist which color to use in those areas. Then you can fill the rest of your character with white or light yellow to ensure that it's clear against the background or layout. However, there are some studios that separate the shadow color further depending on where the shadows are on the character. The light blue is for the shadow of the clothes, the pink is for the shadow of the hair, and the light brown is for the shadow of the skin. Again, these colors can vary depending on the studio you're working at, and there may be even other colors used for lines and fills to indicate other details. Okay, now that we understand how it's generally done by anime studios, I'm going to show you which colors I use in my Genga drawings before I do or ask someone else to do my cleanup for my animations. I also created a Clip Studio color set for free with these colors, including the ones I use often. You can find the link to download it down in the description below. Okay, so once the rough animation is completed, I then add the character on top of the figure drawings I made. These character drawings take about 10 to 15 minutes to make for me, but it can go longer depending on the complexity of the pose and my experience in drawing the details for the characters. Some characters are just easier to draw, while others are more complex, so it's okay to take your time. After I have a good drawing, this now becomes my black outline that represents the character if it's clean enough. But like I said, sometimes I have to do a rough sketch of the character first and then adding a cleaner version of the character outline. Then I add the boundary for the shadows with the blue lines and the boundary for the highlights with the red lines. For the fill, I simply use the light blue for all the shadows and a yellow for the highlights. Sometimes I would use the red line or green line to represent a boundary between two colors where I don't really want to use any black outline to separate the two colors. Now for the character fill, I often use a different color that's way lighter than the shadows or highlights to represent different characters on the same scene. After this, I proceed with cleaning up these lines and coloring it, which I can show you some other time since we're just talking about the Genga on this video. If you want to get more tips in animation, click this video right here, but if you want to see some of the animation works I've done, you can check this video instead. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.